The critics all lied to you about this movie. Freddy vs. Jason is a misunderstood masterpiece, and I don't care what the shill critics rated it at the time and still rate it to this day. This film was trying to do something unprecedented, and no one understood the reality of what was truly happening here when this film was made. It wasn't just a dumb slasher film. No, they were trying to resurrect an entire genre of theater with this. They were trying to innovate with this film, yes. And after me breaking down this film and 2 deleted scenes that almost made it to the cut, almost, before they had to be removed because of how fucking crazy nutjob they were, you're going to believe me that this film is misunderstood by critics because nobody knows what this film was really trying to do. Now, a lot of critics have come out. A lot of them shit on it. A lot of them say this movie's either so bad it's good or it's just plain bad. Okay? Double Toasted got a lot of flack for one of their movie reviews recently, talking about this film, saying it was one of the shittest films ever to exist. A lot of people in their comments were raging at them. Listen, they're entitled to their opinions, but I'm here to disagree with them. I'm here to come at Double Toasted. Alright? This is a direct message to them. And I'm a big fan of Double Toasted. I've been watching them since 2016, 2017. Okay, I love their Tyler Perry movie reviews. They're some of the best YouTube content, movie-related content, easily on YouTube. They're funny as hell. I remember watching I think the first video I saw of them was their Xander Cage trailer video that they made of Vin Diesel's new Xander Cage movie, and it was funny as fuck. But truth needs to be restored here. They came at Freddy vs. Jason hard, and now I need to defend it. I love Martin. Great laugh. Funny dude. I love Corey. Martin sometimes spouts absolute nonsense. Okay, he just waffles on about some of his opinions are just I don't even know how this dude exists. He might be an NPC. This dude is shitting all over Freddy vs. Jason, okay? Fine, you're entitled to your opinion. This guy liked Thor Love and Thunder. It was one of his favorite Phase 4 MCU films. It was a movie that he said felt like a true superhero movie again. It was funny to him. He gave it a full price. He unironically thinks Spider-Man 3 is better than Spider-Man 2, by the way. Low-key based. Spider-Man 3 is awesome. In his Avengers Endgame review with Corey, he literally says that, he doesn't say quote for quote, but he pretty much says that Endgame is better than The Dark Knight. The credibility's lost here. So now I gotta defend my boy here, because Freddy vs. Jason is low-key one of my favorite movies of all time, alright? And I'm not trolling about this. It's true. A lot of people might be going crazy in the comments right now saying, Zaffy, what the hell are you talking about? This movie sucks. Listen to me. Double Toasted broke it down. Bad characters, uneven action, lack of fighting scenes for a movie that's called Freddy vs. Jason, nonsensical ending, and shite writing all over the place. I can't necessarily disagree on any of these points specifically, but there's a certain thing that they're missing. They're missing the point itself. I see people online defending their review saying Freddy vs. Jason isn't a good movie. It's entertaining for the wrong reasons. You horror fans act like shitty horror films are like The Godfather or something. Some horror fans do this. I'm not one of them. This review is very different because you don't know what the fuck I'm about to say. You need to ask yourself, when you see a movie, what is it trying to accomplish? What was Freddy vs. Jason trying to accomplish? Was it trying to be a serious horror movie? Obviously fucking not. Was it trying to be an action gimmick? Oh, we're pitting 2 IPs together. It's why a lot of directors and producers didn't want any part of this film, because they said this gimmick would be a disgrace to both IPs. Funny that they say that. It's really funny to me that producers and writers are acting, okay, this is a gimmick. We can't take this seriously. It's gonna ruin the IPs. The IPs were failing badly before this movie ever became a concept. Both these franchises went to shite. Both of them. Before and after Freddy vs. Jason. Why are we acting like Freddy vs. Jason was the end-all be-all of the IP franchise? Like, come on, that's delusional. Things get increasingly clear when you realize what this movie's trying to be, and that is a surreal, self-aware comedy. Yes. If you treat it as that, which it is, on every level, you will appreciate this film. This film might be Oscar-worthy. This film is funnier than most comedy movies that claim they're funny, in my opinion. That's a fact. From the opening bell, from the opening scene where the freaking titles hit and the rock music, down, come on. This is a film that's taking itself seriously? This is a film that's marketing itself as a horror slasher? Fuck no. This isn't Oppenheimer. This is straight up comedy. They know it, you know it. Not to mention, this film was made in the early 2000s. After a 15-year wait, a 15-year production stall. Early 2000s. Maybe I'm biased because I have nostalgia towards this time, but this movie captures the essence of the early 2000s like no other. This isn't an 80s movie. This isn't a 90s movie. This is an early 2000s movie, and I believe that's also why a lot of critics were indifferent to it at the time, because it didn't really belong in the the time that was put in because of how long this movie's production was stalled out, but it still captured the essence fucking better. No one could put it in their minds. Why the fuck is there rock music playing while these two are fighting each other? Freddy's being a pervert, sticking his tongue through telephones yet again, going after this sexy baddie in the film. Jason's folding people in half in their beds. In fact, Jason has some of the most brutal kills in this. Double Toasted touches on one dude who's talking shit about how if Jason comes here, I'm gonna beat his ass, and then Jason's right behind him, cuts him, slashes him up. It's funny as hell. The characters, yes, they're dog shit. These characters are tropes. They make the trope characters in Cabin in the Woods that are meant to be tropes look like real characters. They are cannon fodder and the movie knows it, for fuck's sake. Jason walks through a crop field on fire killing people. Fire and water are used as kryptonite weaknesses against Freddy and Jason. Jason drowned in water. Freddy got burned. Okay, fire and water are their literal kryptonite weaknesses in this film. This movie knows what it's doing, y'all. But I will say, despite all the ridiculous shit you see, can you honestly tell me this movie isn't more coherent plot-wise than any of the fucking Friday the 13th sequels that have come out? Are you serious right now? It's very simple, okay? The Elm Street and that town has forgotten about Freddy. The adults made it so. The adults made it all their kids forget. So Freddy is trying to bring his presence back into town through Jason. But Jason goes on a crazy killing spree, and now Freddy's a bit jealous, saying this brother's about to take all my glory. Now he needs to go. That's a very coherent plot, y'all. Albeit a bit fucking nuts the way it goes down. And then the fight. Listen, there's not a lot of action in this movie compared to what it should be because it's called Freddy vs. Jason, but when the fight does happen, it lives up to everything. It makes it all worth it because, I'm going to say this right now, this is one of the best fight scenes in history. Yes! I went there. I believe, a lot of people have been pissing me for this, I believe that this fight scene between Freddy vs. Jason is more satisfying than any fight scene in the Alien vs. Predator movies. Yes, AVPR, half of these fight scenes are too dark to see. It's cool, the final fight with the Alien and Predator, but not as good as what Freddy and Jason are doing to each other. And the first movie, it's still cool, but there's no fight in that specifically that sticks out. Freddy and Jason are going... Oh, I can't even show this, can I? Freddy and Jason are going off. They're throwing the kitchen sink at each other. Flying knees. Freddy Krueger is flying kneeing Jason from the clinch. They're shooting like rockets or whatever at each other. Rebar is being flung at each other from heights. WWE style takedown. Stabbing each other endlessly. Freddy takes his claws and stabs it through Jason's eyes. Puts his own machete into Jason's chest, for God's sakes. Jason takes his arm and shoves it through Freddy's stomach. That's how Freddy cuts off Jason's fingers. It's brutal. It's literally brutal. That's what I call a final fight. Yes, there's a whole romance borderline between one dude who escaped from an asylum and he's trying to find this girl. It's dumb. It's probably the weakest part of the film. It's shite. The dialogue is shit. I understand that. The movie knows it. Because the movie knows that's not the point. And the ending, if the ending doesn't tell you what this film is about, I don't know what will. The ending is nonsensical as fuck. Both the villains live to the point where you're wondering, what was the point of the story that we just got? If they're just going to be back 2 seconds later. That ending, coupled with two scenes that almost made the cut, are going to explain to you my main point here. There is this deleted scene where Freddy and Jason fight in hell, in a boxing ring, with fire surrounding it, with various historical evil people in the crowd, including Adolf Hitler, Ted Bundy, I'm pretty sure is there. Yeah, and they're cheering them on while they're fighting and boxing. That's how crazy we got. Not to mention, Pinhead almost made an appearance. Fucking Pinhead! Freddy and Jason were fighting again after they just got defeated. They're back fighting again in the last couple minutes of the movie. Pinhead comes out, wraps them all in chains, and says, "What seems to be the problem here, gentlemen?" That almost made the fucking cut. No, but this is a... We have to treat this like a film, like a horror slasher film. We can't treat this as a comedy at all. Are you insane? Are you low IQ as fuck? We almost got this, but obviously, the producers didn't want it to go too crazy with this because it was already crazy enough. And with that ending, I'm gonna tell you what I believe to be, and it's not just a theory. I think this is real. I think the writers and the producers did something very different with this film. I think they went crazy on purpose. I believe the inspiration for why this story was as wacky as it was actually brilliant and genius. Have any of you heard of the theater of the absurd? It's a genre of theater that culminated from World War II. I studied this shit in high school, y'all, and I'm bringing it back. I'm bringing it back here. My drama teacher would be, I hope she probably wouldn't be too proud of me, given how I look, but still. Remember, this movie was in 15 years of production hell before it got made. The writers and producers, at this point, in the early 2000s, there's a lot of hype that probably died down compared to what it was before, right? In the 80s and 90s, the producers and writers are like, fuck it, we're just gonna go for it. The issue that movies that are trying to do these crossovers now are, like Dan Trachtenberg and AVP, they're very careful about crossing over the Alien and Predator movies now because they don't want to ruin the vitality of both franchises. Okay, they don't want to make it a gimmick movie like the first two AVP movies are. So a lot of writers and directors who want to do this are thinking twice and being strategic about it, right? These guys just said, fuck it. We're going full-blown, leaning into the comedy and surrealism, and we're going to initiate the theater of the absurd. Let me tell you about the theater of the absurd. It's a post-World War II theatrical genre characterized by illogical plots, meaningless situations, dislocated language, which emerged in the late 1950s. It was influenced by existentialist philosophy and aimed to reflect the human condition in a meaningless world, using a blend of tragic themes with a comic style to express metaphysical distress. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, Zaffy, what is this? What does it have to do with Freddy vs. Jason? Let me tell you, this sounds familiar. Illogical plots, rejecting traditional narrative structures featuring chaotic, nonsensical plots without clear cause and effect. Sound familiar? Freddy and Jason has a lot of that. Dislocated language, dialogue that's repetitive, filled with cliches, puns, non sequiturs. Yeah, that goes down a lot in this movie. Lack of character development, yes. Cyclical or static action, yes. Blend of comedy and tragedy, yes. That's Freddy vs. Jason, summed up. Freddy vs. Jason was the first attempt at, I believe New Line Cinema was the one that made this, right? Their attempt at resurrecting a genre because they decided, okay, we know this is a gimmick film and people will not take it seriously, so we're going to lean in. We need a genre that can mystify everything and bring it all together. Theater of the absurd. It's got comedy, it's got violence, it's got everything. We're gonna make this a magnum opus of absurdity, and they did it, and no one understands it to this day. This movie is a fucking full-blown, tragic, nihilistic comedy. Yes, it has shit characters. Yes, it has a nonsensical plot and uneven action. That's the fucking point! That's theater of the absurd. It's nihilistic. Now, you could say, okay, just because it's a style of theater, Zaffy, doesn't make it good. All I'm saying is, when I'm going into a movie like Freddy vs. Jason, I'm trying to figure out what's the promise that they're trying to fulfill on. What are they trying to do? Their promise was, we're having these two morons fight each other, and that's the only thing that this movie's centered on. And while there's not a lot of them fighting, when they do fight, that becomes the movie. This movie is good. It deserves an Oscar for Best Comedy. It did at the time anyways. Now, for Double Toasted, who still thinks this movie sucks, maybe I haven't done enough to convince you. If you want to say this movie sucks, that's fine. It doesn't. It doesn't because it knows what it is, and is very good at fulfilling the promise it sets out to fulfill. So no, it doesn't suck, and even if it does, it doesn't.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zaffy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.